Hey. So last August, I was given the opportunity to be a teaching artist. I grew up loving to be a teacher, wanting to be a teacher, and so I jumped at the opportunity. And now every Monday morning, I wake up at 5 a.m. To take a shower, to get dressed, comb my hair, brush my teeth, jump in my car, and head on the 5 freeway north. The first time I arrived at the campus, it was still dark outside. So I sat in my car, turned on the music, and just waited. And as the sun returned from its hibernation, I noticed the kids start to show up. Reluctantly, like tucking in their shirts, taking off their shoes, and loosening their waistbands to show the security they didn't have any weapons. After that, they're wanded down. There are also no logos allowed on campus. The only colors they could wear are black, white, and gray. So the future seems bleak to them, or at least the color scheme is. When we arrive in class, they start to ask questions. I tell them my name is Shihan. They can call me Shihan because Mr. Van Clief sounds too formal in a place with this many rules. I look around the class, I tell Justine to get off her phone. She doesn't. I say, remove yourself from your superficial electronics and live in the moment we're in. Plus, I'm talking and it's just plain rude. So she puts the phone away. I tell Edwin to tell us what he did this weekend, and he stands in front of the classroom. He nervously walks up. I tell him to breathe, to calm down, to silence himself, but not for too long, because silence can drive you mad. When he asks what I should do, I say, evoke feeling. He says, what does evoke mean? I said, to bring out of someone, to bring out a feeling, to make someone feel. I say, if he needs to, he can yell or he can curse. And he's like, so you're saying I can say fuck? And I say, you need to know who you're talking to. It's important to know. This is the crutch of the universe. I tell them, I try to define things in terms of life, in terms of their understanding so they get it, so we have something in common and to create a connection. I ask them to ask questions because the fastest way to make a connection with someone is to resonate with them. I point my finger to the sky. They follow it with their eyes. I tell them to reach for what they tell them they can't touch. It makes them believe in the impossible. And then, while they focus on my fingertip, I slap them with the other hand. I say, don't focus on the distraction. It will only come to define you. I tell them their stories are valid, that without their stories, the world isn't that interesting. They say it's hard. I say consistency is a skill. It's not inherent. They start to believe. I ask Vanessa who she's closest to. She says it's her brother. I say, who's older? She says they're twins. Again, I ask who's older. She says he is, because he was born in December and I was born in February. And I'm confused. I have questions, because I've never heard of that before. She tells me it's called delayed interval delivery. It's when twins are supposed to be born, but only one comes out, the other isn't ready, so they patch the mom up and just wait. Wow. And I tell her she has now become my teacher. I tell her to be proud of her story, to be bold in how she shares it. At snack break, Angie asks me to play chess. She beats me. I ask her for a rematch. She declines. She walks away smiling and proud. After break, I ask Adam what his best friend would say if he told him he loved him. He says he would probably say, you're gay, and laugh. I ask him, what if you kept saying it? He says, he'd probably say it back after a while. I say, do you know why? He shakes his head. I say, it's because everyone wants to feel loved, to feel a connection. There are connections everywhere we look. It's the guy, I've watched this in Whole Talk, in the back updating something that doesn't need to be updated right now. It's the lady here holding the arm of the person next to her. It's a physical connection. So which connection are you most likely to be connected to? Now, I'll pretend to read off of the confidence monitor, which isn't moving, so I will use my phone. I will use this to create a belief that I needed something to be connected to. A security blanket, just in case I forgot, which I did, what my talk was supposed to be talking about. But how can I forget what I'm connected to? The world, my family, my friends, their students, their stories. I tell them like I tell myself every day. Tell your friends you love them every day. Smile a lot. Laugh at inappropriate times. Do whatever you need to do to remain connected, because the world will give us enough reasons to disconnect. And I don't have time for that, and neither do they. All we have time for is a connection. Thank you.